In Japan, a treasure trove of peculiarities awaits exploration. But what are the truly extraordinary and bizarre marvels? Whether it's the futuristic robot hotels, the unconventional tradition of Kentucky-style fried chicken feasts on Christmas, the majestic snow-carved canyons, the infamous rollercoaster bridges, or even the whimsical bus stops shaped like delightful fruits, Japan never fails to astound. Brace for these 7 astonishing encounters you won't find anywhere else but in Japan. Number 7. Transformer University. This technical college's hulking metallic form has been known to give passer-by quite a shock. The school, which opened in 1990, was designed to house the campus of a trade school. What possessed the creators to design it like a transformer? According to the architect, this building consists of many parts. They all are essential architectural elements: posts, water tanks, lightning rods, joints of various kinds. We can see that it lurks around a sharp corner, seeming to pounce out at you. At the last minute, as it preys on the rickety old wooden house below, a cross between an insect and a motorcycle. But if you approach it from other angles, it's visible long before you arrive, with a mysterious red antenna poking out between neighbouring apartment blocks. The design is based on the winning entry and the competition. The facility, located on a narrow street, contains classrooms, faculty space, and a gallery. The body of the machine insect is clad in aluminium panels. In 4 corners, the architect itself says that architecture ought to be something capable of moving people's hearts and giving them a thrill. Another purpose of this building is to assure that anyone who might see it experiences a definitive feeling of excitement. Number 6. Ninja Nightingale Floors. For centuries, Japan has taken pride in the talents of its craftsmen, carpenters, and woodworkers included. Because of that, you might be surprised to find that some Japanese castles have extremely creaky wooden floors. How could this construction have been considered acceptable for some of the most powerful figures in Japanese history? The answer is that the sounds weren't just tolerated, but desired, as the noise-producing floors functioned as Japan's earliest automated intruder alarm. The specially constructed floors, named literally translated as bush warbler guard watch, more commonly referred to in English language texts as Nightingale floors. Planks of wood are placed atop a framework of supporting beams securely enough that they won't dislodge, but still loose enough that there's a little bit of play when they're stepped on. As the boards are pressed down by the feet of someone walking on them, their clamps rub against nails attached to the beams, creating a shrill chirping noise. It's supposed to sound like nightingale mating calls, but it really means sound the alarm. Nightingale floors were used as a countermeasure against ninjas, spies, thieves, and assassin. Number 5. Fruity bus stops. Nagasaki in Japan is undoubtedly worth a visit for its beautiful temples, museums, and natural history, but Nagasaki also has a low-key vibe, but no less charming spots to see. For example, these fruit-shaped bus stops: watermelon, strawberry, orange, melon, and tomato. Even these adorable bus stops were set up after the Travel Expo in 1990, hoping to create a welcoming environment for visitors. Travel was the expo theme, and it was hugely successful. You'll find 16 stops along National Route 207, each of which is shaped like one of the 5 giant fruits. They've stayed in service there ever since, lining the main road through town, keeping travelers dry. They still look pretty good after 25 years. Hardly a brown spot on any of them. The actual expo was hosted by the city of Osaka. It ran for a straight 6 months and attracted over 23 million visitors. The fair was such a success that a host of small affairs expressing related themes were held across Japan. Since then, the stands have become a local tourist attraction in the region. The bus stops are still functional, and have held remarkably well for a quarter of a century. They appear to be well maintained as well. Number 4. Volcano in A Volcano. A couple of 100 miles to the south of Tokyo in the Philippine Sea. This island is known for having a volcanic caldera within a larger caldera, which means the island's unique shape resembles a tropical scene from the set of Jurassic Park. Getting there is an adventure akin to a James Bond mission, which is likely why not many ever make the journey in the center of the island. Lies, geothermal sauna, scuba diving is popular, and the alien landscape is something you'll never forget. Be careful, though this is still an active volcano. In 1785, 140 of the 327-person population perished in a massive eruption. It's been over 200 years since the last eruption, so the volcano might be in store for an eruption soon. Beware, these remote islands are truly a great place to relax. It's part of a national park system that encompasses many of the islands in the area. So, a trip would definitely require a bit of island hopping to take in all the surrounding beauty. Plus, it's only accessible by boat or helicopter. One could end up trapped here pretty easily if the seas get rough or a tropical storm makes its way in. There isn't much to do once you arrive on the island, except enjoy the serenity of a tropical paradise. Number 3. Killing Stone. The so-called Killing Stone made international headlines recently when it split, spewing out toxic gases. It's most likely that the split was the result of natural weathering. Despite a logical explanation, many people saw the split as a bad omen. They believe the cracked stone statue released an evil demon. Some folks believe the stone is the transformed corpse who lived during the reign of Emperor Toba about 1,000 years ago. But the corpse was actually a 9-tailed fox working with an evil lure to overthrow the emperor. But before the fox could enact its dastardly plan, a warrior killed the fox and the body was transformed into stone. Another legend states that a priest resting near the stone was threatened by the fox's spirit. After certain rituals were performed, the fox entity promised not to haunt the stone anymore. Still to this day, the stone reputably kills anyone who comes into contact with it. But since it's an area filled with poisonous gas, there could be a rational explanation for that. However, that didn't stop rumors circulating that anyone who touched the stone ended up dead. And recently the local government and priests host a ceremony to appease the spirit and pacify the beast at the site with prayers and offerings. Number 2. Stigmatized Houses. Have you ever seen the movie The Grudge? It's about a curse that's born when someone dies in the grip of extreme rage or sorrow created where the person died. Those who encounter the curse die, and the curse is reborn repeatedly, passing from victim to victim in an endless growing chain of horror. It's this real belief behind these stigmatized houses in Japan. It's a property where the former occupant died of unnatural causes, such as suicide, murder, fire, or neglect, and properties like these are shunned for reasons that are unrelated to their physical condition or features. Some folks have a belief that the spirits of the dead live in the house they died in, but on the flip side, they can be rented or purchased at very low prices, provided you're okay with the history of the home or apartment. Do you want a cheap house or an apartment, even if it was believed to be haunted? There are growing numbers of people purchasing these stigmatized properties at huge discounts, and either renting them or reselling them in the future. Although both the civil law dictates that realtors inform any prospective tenants of any stigma involving the previous tenant or property. Number 1. Stinky Foot Robot Dog. A Japanese startup has designed a robot that can sniff out a person's feet and assess how strong the odor is. It's a helpful little robot mutt who will bark if it detects moderately whiffy toes, but will kill over if the stink is particularly pungent. Do your feet smell that bad? Just a little or absolutely awful? The 6-inch dog, equipped with an odor detection sensor for a nose, also sprays air freshener to resolve the situation if the aroma is too much socially smelly feet can be socially awkward in Japan, where shoes are removed at the entrance of every home. Plus, smells are becoming more of an issue there. A place where subjecting others to your body odor can even be considered offensive, and we get it. Of all the senses, the sense of smell is the most important trigger of memory. One reason is that our sense of smell is located in the same part of our brain that affects emotions, memory, and creativity. Sniffing can also offer information on people's emotional states, such as if they're happy, sad, or fearful. Awareness of our innate smelling abilities, however, is complicated because the human language doesn't have words for a trillion smells, and much of smelling happens, and we don't even notice. Only in Japan, right? As we watch these videos, our curiosity about this extraordinary place intensifies. We eagerly anticipate an unforgettable encounter with the unknown, where uniqueness and surprises abound. That's precisely what captivates and excites us the most.